So I'm gonna start off by saying that I enjoyed this movie. I like all the characters. I like spending time with these characters. Jacob was a highlight of the movie. I think he was really funny. And there are many pretty funny scenes that I actually laughed out loud to. And yeah, it was a fun time. I enjoyed it, and I think the ending was good. It was simple, and it just reminded us what they're fighting for. But I don't think this is really a good movie. It has a lot of problems with it, and yeah. So I've gotten the good stuff out of the way, which isn't much. I mean, there really isn't much depth to what I liked about it. I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters, and I think it had a good ending. That's pretty much what I liked about it. And also, it had like more of a focused story than the Crimes of Grindelwald, uh, which, yeah, which is why I think it's much better. Uh, yeah, there wasn't just like a bunch of different plot lines. Like, the characters were doing different things, but it was all focused on the one thing, which was the election. Now I'll get into the negatives. So first of all, at times it was kind of confusing what was going on. I didn't really know what was happening the whole time. Like, for example, at the start of the movie, Grindelwald kills the Chillin. I have no idea why he did that, and it makes me feel like I missed something. It's like, did I miss something? Or is the movie just unclear? And when they're at the German Ministry of Magic, it's clear that there's some sort of election going on. I have no idea that this is for the general wizarding world. I just think, okay, this is an election for specifically the German Ministry of Magic. So I think it could have been a lot more clear on some things and why they're happening and what exactly was happening. And also, several instances in the movie, there's like magic that happens, and it's not really explained, like what sort of spells is happening, like how is this magic happening. And I know magic is something that we can't explain, but when they don't give any sort of explanation to exactly what's going on with it, with the magic that's happening, it's just like they could literally just do anything and just write it off as just, oh, it's magic. And I mean, then characters can get like way too overpowered and all that, and the magic just has no system. You could just do anything. And I'm fine with that, but if you bring in a new concept, I'd like some sort of explanation to it, right? And the biggest instance of this that is like really a problem, I think, in this movie is at the end, the blood pact is destroyed. And I have no idea how. Dumbledore gives like some sort of explanation. It's like, oh, it was fate. He sought to destroy, I sought to protect. Yeah, so what? How does that destroy the blood pacts? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And it just makes the blood pact this thing that they introduced in the last movie, and then they just destroyed it here. So it's like not important to the overall story, and it feels like just a plot device they used to stretch out the story to have more movies. Because, like, if Dumbledore could go against Grindelwald, this probably would have been over more quickly. So, yeah, it makes the Blood Pact feel like just this plot device that they introduced. So, yeah, I wish they would have explained what was going on much better. Another thing that wasn't great about this movie is that, okay, we start with Grindelwald. he has followers, he has haters, right? And he's not really in any sort of position of power. We end the movie. He still has followers, he still has haters. Like, I don't think he really did much to gain more followers. Like, if anything, he just maybe lost some followers because he killed and enchanted the Chillin. But I mean, his point still stands, and the followers that were following him at the start of the movie still believe in what he's trying to do, I would say. So he has probably the around the same amount of followers and haters, and he's still not in a position of power. He was going to be, but he lost it. So we started the movie at one point, and we pretty much ended the movie at another point. So for the, at the same point, pretty much. So for the overall story, this movie isn't super important. It's just the story of them not giving making sure Grindelwald doesn't get the position of power he's trying to get. But this isn't a franchise, and I'm pretty sure they are planning to do other movies, and that would make sense. So I think it should progress the story of this series a lot more than it did. So yeah, that's a big problem that I had with it. And another thing is that, yeah, okay, the characters, I enjoyed spending time with them. And I had a good, and they were funny in this movie, they were entertaining, all that. But there wasn't really any good character development, I feel like. I think the characters pretty much were at the same point at the start and the end of the movie in terms of their character development. I guess you could say Queenie is in a different spot. She's no longer with Grindelwald, but that wasn't earned at all. We had a few scenes with her. She was mind controlling, not mind controlling. She was reading Credence's mind, and she was ignoring Jacob for the whole movie, and that's all we saw of her. And by the end, there was that scene with Jacob and Queenie. But she was still hesitant of talking to Jacob. She felt like she shouldn't be doing this. But then by the end of the movie, she just leaves Grindelwald. There's no scene showing that decision. She just leaves Grindelwald and goes and marries Jacob. And that's it. And I think there should have been a scene in between with that decision, showing that decision, and showing what went behind that decision. There should have been a lot more to her character arc for it to feel like a real character arc. But I think it feels more like an unearned character switch. She switched from one side to the other side, and it felt very unearned. So overall, I did enjoy this movie. It was an enjoyable experience, and I came out of it feeling positive about the movie. But the more that I thought about it, the more that I feel like it just had a lot of problems. And yeah, this franchise overall isn't in a great spot. I think they're planning to do 2 more movies, from what I've heard. So hopefully those will be a lot better. I'm still gonna watch them, because I'm a pretty big Harry Potter fan. It's probably my favorite book series. Yeah, I think I'll give this movie a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6, just because I enjoyed it so much, and I like the characters so much. But there's just so many problems with it. Not that it really bothered me while watching the movie, but when I'm thinking back to it, it's this movie is kind of weird. in the way it was done. So yeah, tell me in the comments, what did you think of this movie? Do you have maybe a more positive take on it? Yeah, tell me all that stuff in the comment section down below. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.